Yo, yo, yo. Am I coming in? Am I coming in smooth? Sorry for the couple of minutes delay. I've been live this whole time and I didn't even know it. So, please in the chat let me know. I was checking the live stream from my mobile device. It looked like I wasn't live, but I guess I was live this whole time. So chat, please let me know if I am live, if you can see me. Am I coming in clear? I see J-Zoe in the chat. J-Zoe, you still here with me? And make sure I'm coming in good. It's messaging in the chat. I couldn't even see what was happening. Sorry about that, guys. Let me make sure I'm coming in smooth. 1 second here. All right. Gonna get it together. Let's see here. All right, I see J-Zoe here. J-Zoe, if you can hear me loud and clear, can I get you to press 1 in the chat if I'm coming in loud and clear? I want to make sure you can hear me and see me. All right, let's see here. All right, let me make sure. Coming in clear, guys. Yo. Am I good? Oh, perfect. We are live, guys. We are live. We are loud. We are clear. Got everything going on here. All right, guys. Sorry about that little bit of the delay. This is my second live stream. Please be patient with me. So, if you're watching the playback, you just have to skip forward a little bit. It's just better than last time. Last time, my screen was black, but now I am here. All right. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check. That's right, the Heat Check. This is a live beat review show where you can go ahead and get feedback. Now you might be wondering, who are you and why should I be taking feedback from you? Well, my name is Desmond A. I've been producing music for well over 10 years now. Have music playing on E-Television, Sci-Fi Channel, Bravo. I've produced and recorded for various very, very talented recording artists out here in Atlanta, Georgia. So, been doing it for a while, done a few things, seen a few different things, and I've picked up a few tips along the way, and that's why I'm here to go ahead and share that helpful feedback with you. So, let's go ahead and get to the format of the show. How does it work? So I'm going to be playing a minute and a half of your beat. The beats as they come in, that's the order that they're going to get played. So first come, first serve. That's the order of the beats. What we're going to do is after the show is completed, then the form to submit more beats is going to reopen. So all submissions are final. So we're already closed for this Sunday. But for next Sunday, as soon as I shut down the live, give it about 10 minutes. I'm going to reopen the form, submit your beats as soon as it's done so you can get first place and you could be first in line to have your music played. So that's how we're going to go ahead and do this. And one more rule is this is not a stream for you to roast or crack jokes on other producers. We're here for producers, helping producers. So if you hear something in some other producer's beat and you feel like it could be better, just give constructive criticism. Don't say it sounds whack. Don't say it sounds terrible. That doesn't help anybody. You could say, put in more work, or sounds like they just started. They just need to find themselves. They need to find their sound as a producer. So we've all been there. Nobody's going to be just Blaze or Metro Boomin right out the gate. We all have to take our time to work, to grow, to become better producers in the process. So that's how we're gonna go ahead and do the show. Those are the rules. Now that we got that out the way, shout out to Slein Beats. Is it Slein or Slein? You gotta let me know. I didn't say slime last time. I said Slein. But I'm gonna get the pronunciation of your of your name right eventually. So we got J-Zoe and Slein Beats in the chat already. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and let me get my screen ready. All right, perfect transition there. You guys can hear me, you can see me. So once again, we're gonna go in order. Starting from the top, we got J-Zoe on the beat. In his first track, I Can't Do This. It sounds powerful, so let's go ahead and check out this beat, see what it sounds like. I'm gonna mute this mic and we're gonna listen to this track together. So let's get into it, guys.
J-Zoe on the beat, man.
All right. So that was J-Zoe on the beats. First track, I Can't Do This. Very good track. Very good track. Had great energy into it. One of the things that stood out to me about that track, as far as just constructive feedback, and is that the bass was good and bassy, so it's hitting like the low mid. But I kind of wanted like that lower sub rumble to it, like sub bass. So it has good bass, but that low sub that's gonna really shake those woofers. I kind of wanted something added in there. So if you have some type of other, like a sub 808, a sub your 808, you can kind of add into it. If you use FL Studio, you can get my free FL Studio patcher plugin called FLD Bass. In that FL Studio patcher plugin, it allows you to add in sub bass to bass that's already there. So you can just use the free patcher plugin. You can get it at DesmondASounds.com. Use that to add that low sub bass. You guys know what I'm talking about when you're riding in a car and you really feel that sub shaking the speakers, shaking the low end. Other than that, there is another part in the beat. It's almost like you had a main snare and an additional snare. So it was like boom, boom. That secondary snare, that boom, that secondary snare that kind of is right before the main snare. If you have another snare in your library that you can possibly try to add there, I think that'll give it a nice contrast as far as texture. So you'll have your main snare going and that kind of pre-snare. You can kind of get a little bit of different texture going along with it. But, you know, just a couple of little texture things there that you could do to that beat to kind kind of tie it all in together, get the feel totally tied in. So that's really all I have for that beat. So let's go ahead and move on to the next beat we have here by J-Zoe. It's called Deep in My Thought. That's Deep in My Thought. Get your minds out the gutter. It's Sunday. Deep in My Thought. All right. So let's go ahead and check out this beat by J-Zoe. Deep in My Thought. Let's go.
J-Zoe on the beat, man.
Okay. J-Zoe on the beat, coming through with the R&B vibes. Deep in My Thought, man. R&B, I am very partial to R&B. So if you guys ever want to impress me, just throw on some R&B. It's just an easy win. So yeah, the composition was great. The musicality was great. You know what you're doing. You know how to select chords. You know how to make sure things sound good. And I was even writing a song in my head. That's the type of layout I talk about when I say don't add too many sounds to your beat. Because if there's an R&B, if I had this R&B songwriter here with me, they more than likely would say, "Hey man, I'm coming up with something. Let me at least try something. Let me drive around and see if I can come up with something to that." So great choice, music wise. With that beat, one thing that stood out to me is some of the sound selection in the drums. Like I wanted like a tighter, punchier kick. The snare or the clap, it's like a clap snare. Kind of wanted something a little more present, a little more polished, and also the hi-hat. Maybe if you can kind of take the hi-hat sounded a little acoustic. If you can kind of get like you can do one or two things. You can kind of pull off the tail of that hi-hat by, in FL Studio, you can take off the tail end to make the hi-hat shorter, so the release of it isn't so long. Or you could just, what I would recommend is to find a different hi-hat in your library and just add it in. So a punchier kick, a more polished snare or clap, and a different hi-hat. There's just a handful of things there with the drums that's gonna really just like send it to the stratosphere. With that, even that J-Zoe, I would even possibly, I don't know if you're on BeatStars or anything like that. If you can look on BeatStars or look on Instagram, if there's there's an R&B producer who you can hear and you're like, oh man, that's fire. Kind of network, man. So many of my opportunities in music has came from collaboration where there really wasn't any big promise or anything like that. Just like, hey, I hear what you're doing. This is what I do. Can we collab? I did this beat. I'm feeling it, but I like your drums. You think you could do something? And then bam, if it comes out well, you guys can put it on BeatStars, split everything 50-50, and hey, now you have a new person in your network who you can lean on to collaborate when you come up with these R&B type tracks. And it looks like that's a SZA type beat that you came up with. So hey, you can even look up SZA type beat, find another, R&B producer, and y'all can lock in like that. So a little bit. So yeah, so y'all can lock in. So yeah, great beats by J-Zoe on the beat. Hope to see you next week as well. So moving forward, we have another producer here, Fat Cat the Beatmaker. All right, let's go ahead and have Fat Cat here. All right, so we got Fat Cat the Beatmaker, and looks like there's not a title to this beat, so we'll just call it Unknown. So Unknown by Fat Cat the Beatmaker. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what it sounds like, guys. All right, that was Fat Cat the Beatmaker with, I'll just call it Unnamed. So Unnamed by Fat Cat the Beatmaker. Now Fat Cat, it kind of sounds to me like you're still learning the beat making process. So, you're kind of messing around, you're figuring out your sounds, you're kind of putting stuff together, but you don't really have a clear path on exactly where you're going. The beat felt like one dimensional, like you were just putting sounds in and then decided later to add extra sounds so it can kind of somewhat break it up so it wasn't totally a loop. Just keep practicing beat making. Over time you're gonna get better and better and better. And really what I'm hearing is you really don't know what you don't know yet. I remember watching an interview about a very popular songwriter now. His name slips my mind, and people would make fun of him because he would just use like an acoustic snare. He didn't know how to pick drums. So he had to take time to learn what sounded good, and that's going to come just by trial and error. So you're just going to have to keep shooting shots. Don't give up. Over time, you're going to learn what sounds good, what doesn't, and then eventually you're going to start to improve. So Fat Cat the Beatmaker, I kind of tell you're somewhat new, so keep grinding, keep making beats, keep submitting the beats. Then we're going to give you the feedback that you need to grow as a producer. Oh, my audio is not coming out. My mic out right. Sorry about that, guys. Let me make sure my audio. Get my audio right, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. My mic testing 1 2 3. Make sure my audio is good. Testing. 1, 2, 3. It's my audio. Looks like when I test it, my audio's good. Is my mic coming out? Oh, man. So my mic is coming out of one end. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see if I can fix that. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Says that my mic should be. Still the same. All right, so I'm gonna work on my mic while we play the next beat. That way we won't interrupt the flow. Okay. It's mono and it's on the right side. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna check that out while we play the next beat. So let's move forward. We got Fat Cat the Beatmaker. Anywhere you can send the beat. So submissions are closed right now, Toby. So as soon as this live stream ends, you're gonna be able to get your beat in for next Sunday's show. You should see the link in the description. So if you see the link in the description, it might be closed right now. But as soon as the show is done, give me 10 minutes, then it'll be open. So we don't have that much longer for the show. Just have a few submissions this week. But please subscribe, and I'm going to make a post so that way you know when to submit. So if you can subscribe, I'll make a post, community post. That way you guys know to submit so you won't be, mixed up and won't be lost in the process. So let me go ahead and let's move on to Fat Cat the Beatmaker's next beat. So let's keep it moving, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Fat Cat the Beatmaker. Second beat. That one was also unnamed, so we'll just call that Unknown Part 2. So that beat was much more focused. That beat gave me it just felt like, I don't know if that's more like your style that you're going for, Fat Cat, but that really sounded much more confident. It felt like that was your lane. I just in the energy, I felt like things were much more smooth. One thing that happens is, as a producer, sometimes we can kind of get lost trying to figure out our sound. Do I want to be a pop beat maker? Do I want to be a trap beat maker? Do I want to be a boom bap beat maker? We don't quite know which way to go, so sometimes we kind of just feel our way around to see what exactly we like. And you don't really know what you like if you don't experiment and try and test different things out. So in that instance, I can tell that this is more of your pocket. You may even listen to producers who have a similar sound to this, and that's why you sound more confident in this exact lane. So I would say continue to experiment, but this sound right here, it instantly pulled me in. It just felt like more like home, more like your lane. And you can find your core sound as a producer, and then when you branch out, everything is kind of like a almost like a remix of that. So if your core sound, like for me, it's more, it leans more R&B. So when I do boom bap, it still has an R&B sentiment. Or I do pop, it has an R&B sentiment. Or I do Afrobeat, it has an R&B sentiment. So my core is still R&B. So with that, you can even branch out. So keep doing it, keep doing your thing, keep working, and you know, as you keep going, as you keep grinding, as you keep growing, you're gonna notice that you feel more at home and more confident with your beats. All right, so it's like I try to fix my audio. Now it's coming out of one side. Let's that. Let's see. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Still working on the mic. Fairly new to OBS. I used to use Streamlabs. OBS is pretty new to me, but I'm gonna get this better. I'm gonna get everything correct by next week, guys. Sorry about that. Still working on making sure that my voice comes in balanced. Apologize about that, but let's go ahead and keep the show going on. We have our next producer here. We have Slein Beats. I'm sorry. Okay, so tell me what your name rhymes with so I can pronounce it right. Names are important. I don't play with names. So tell me what your name rhymes with. I believe it's Slein Beats. But tell me what your name rhymes with so I can make sure I have it correct moving forward. Names are important. I hate when people butcher my name. So hopefully I have it right. Slein Beats. So we have a future type beat by Slein Beats. It's called Serpent. So let's hear what it sounds like, guys. It's going to be fire. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's go. All right, let's go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Slein, like Einstein, Slein beats. All right, I got it down. Slein beats. Einstein, Slein. All right, here we go. So that Serpent beat, man. Serpent beat was fire. It hit hard. It's easy to write to. I can't even really think about anything, man. That was fire. Only thing, this is nitpicking, and this is just to give you constructive feedback, just to have something to put in your pocket. You could maybe even try using certain effects to kind of do little drops here and there, like a low pass filter, just to kind of build up a little bit of excitement around the hook, around the verse, getting into the hook. Just a little something to make the artist kind of go crazy. I know it's in the studio, sometimes like the smallest drop, even a little bit of silence, can get artists going like, oh, going crazy. So the beat hits hard, but just a little bit of silence to kind of cause anticipation. Maybe a little bit of silence in a reverse cymbal crash, and then bam, hitting them again. That you could do that to kind of get the artist excited. But yeah, that was super easy to write to. It hit hard, sounded good, felt good. Shout out to you, Slein Beats, man. That's nothing but fire, man. Keep it up, keep it up. All right, so we're moving on to the next beat by Slein Beats. This is a Ken Carson type beat by Slein Beats. Let's go ahead and check it out, guys. Okay. Another fire beat. Another fire beat by Slein Beats. Ken Carson, Rage type beat. Man, that beat was great. Now, Slein Beats, do you first of all, Slein Beats, I can tell that you've been making beats for quite a while. I can already tell that. So, let me ask you this. Have you thought about like having your own artist? Do you already have your own artist? Because I can just tell that the way you put things together, you've been doing this for quite a while. So are you selling beats? Do you have your own artist? What are you doing? Because that beat right there, I could see myself in a studio with an artist and like them using that beat and me watching an engineer jump into Pro Tools and them just going crazy on it. So yeah, you got it, man. You got it. As far as constructive criticism, man, that's a Ken Carson Rage type beat. You got the sound. So, man, honestly, that beat, I can't. You got it. It's just that one is locked in, man. That one's locked in. That one's locked in. I can't add anything to that one, guys. That's fire. That's polished. That's right on the head. That's enough space for the artist. Okay, so Slein Slein, I've been there before too, man. I know, you work with an artist. Sometimes it don't work out. Keep going, keep grinding, man. As far as that goes, like if you can get on Instagram and try reaching out to artists who have this sound and just building with them, just sending them the beats, and this might be kind of taboo, but giving them the beats, telling them that, because here's the thing, a lot of times as producers we want to sell the beat, but if you can find an artist who, when you look at their Instagram, you can tell that they're business minded, they're actually doing shows, they're actually making moves, they're actually doing things on the business side that shows you, hey, this is not a person who happens to be talented that I'm giving my beats to. Because that's one of the most frustrating things about music is talented people, they can kind of take advantage of us because we get so emotionally tied in with them. The music is fire, but when it comes time to the business side, they don't actually like do shows. They don't actually consistently show up to work on music. So it can kind of be heartbreaking. So we don't want to waste our beats. So I know why so many producers feel that way about giving away free beats, but if you can find somebody who's really locked in, who's really traveling, who's really about business, consistently giving them beats, and working something out, maybe they'll give you like a certain rate for a pack of beats, and then y'all just go from there. Because with you, Slein, I just want to see you lock in with an artist, and it may not be an artist that is over there with you locally, unfortunately. So you might have to build on Instagram, but you're at that point where you got it. You got it. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you, man. It's the luck of the draw, and it's a numbers game as far as finding someone to lock in with. So keep going. Don't give up. But always remember, just because a person is talented doesn't necessarily mean that they have that business side and that hustle side. And that's the frustrating thing that a lot of people don't talk about, man. Man, some of the most talented people just, they're flaky, sometimey, but try Instagram, keep going. Something's going to work out for you, man. Please submit for next week. All right, moving on. Yeah, Instagram is the place, man. Instagram is the place. All right, moving forward, we got Iceyy. Iceyy submitted this week. It is Big Dog's Crib. All right, let's go ahead and check out this beat by Iceyy, Big Dog's Crib. Let's see what it sounds like, guys.
Hey man, what the fuck? Watch out, big dogs are coming.
All right, that was Iceyy with Big Dog's Crib. First of all, that beat was disrespectful when it came in. Let's start there. That beat just hit me right in the chest. Just bam. That intro to the beat drop and the drum bounce it was, yeah, that was something. That was something, man. You killed that. Feedback time. So the beat came in really fire from the intro to the drop. That drum bounce was crazy. But one thing I noticed was as the beat progressed, it's like you had it, and then it's like you had the vibe and the theme of the beat, but as the beat went on and on and on, it's almost like I get the sense that you were almost trying to impress other producers. And in that process, the vibe kind of started to pull me kind of in different directions. Like those kind of sounded like tubular bells that came in later. They're kind of loud and kind of threw off my vibe. It's like you had everything locked in with the drum bounce and the sound. All you needed was just like a couple of drops and things just to come back in and hit. Couple of drops just to separate the beat from the main verses from the hook. That's really all you needed. Your drum bounce was crazy. The intro was crazy. But as it went on, it almost felt like you were trying to show off to other producers. And that's something I've done before in the past, is kind of add a little too many switch ups that don't really add to the vibe and the energy of the beat. So kind of dial that back, and I want you to listen to this beat again and freestyle to it. Or find an acapella, and in that process you're going to notice that you don't have to do as much on those switch ups as the beat progressed. Once again, it almost felt like it started to turn into a beat battle or a flex on other producers. I still fight with that to this day. I like to do like crazy R&B leads, and I gotta stop myself at times. So you're on the right track. You're pretty much there, but just dial it back and think of things from the rapper's perspective, and you're there, man. That's a fire beat, man. Shout out to you, Iceyy. So now, moving on, Iceyy has another beat. It is Dreams. So we're gonna move on to Icey's other beat, which is Dreams. Let's listen to it together, guys. It's the final beat of the night by Iceyy. It is called Dreams. Let's check it out. Sorry, one more thing. Iceyy on the last beat kind of felt like things were smacking against the master bus a little bit. Try to give yourself a little bit of breathing room, just a little bit more breathing room, so things aren't like hitting the master bus so hard. That's it. That's the only other thing there. So moving on to his next beat, Dreams. Let's get into it, guys.
嬉しそうだな。褒めてやろうか。本物の呪術というものを。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dreams by Iceyy. So, Iceyy, your drum bounce is crazy, man. I really like your drum bounce. When I listen to your music, I hear some of the younger artists coming out of ATL out here really vibing with your beats. So, if once again, if you're on Instagram, please reach out to like look at some of these like smaller independent pages of like younger ATL art. Not even it doesn't have to be ATL, but some of these younger up and coming artists. I really like your drum bounce as soon as it comes on. I get it. One of the people I heard on that beat when I was listening was like Baby Kia. You know, you guys might not have heard Baby Kia on it, but I did. So, or maybe not only just Baby Kia, but other ATL artists, younger ATL artists on that beat. And your drum bounce really fits that. One thing is like a similar thing happened on this beat. So I'll tell you what. So the similar thing that happened on this beat was you started off really, really strong, and then as the beat progressed, it kind of felt like you were adding things and making changes that weren't necessarily necessary to the beat to really add anything. They were just kind of changes for change's sake. Like the kick was too loud and too aggressive. It kind of threw me off. Like the 808 that you had going was good, but then that kick just kind of threw off my vibe. Like part of the reason why I mute myself is I'm mumbling and I'm freestyling to the beat as if I was a recording artist. And as the beat started going on, that kick came in and threw off my vibe. And there were other changes as the beat progressed that just threw off my vibe. There were just changes. Some of the melodies kind of started to clash a little bit when the changes were made. So Iceyy, if I can get for you to like lock in like that first minute of your beat, around the first minute, you don't have to do too much. Just like strip things down, have a little drop for the artist to get excited and go back into the hook. But you don't have to keep adding those changes. Those kind of throw us off, and it's an easy thing to do. So I'm not like knocking you or blaming you for that, because I've done that before in the past. But that first minute of your beat, that's really all you need. Of both beats that you submitted, that first minute, find a way to break it down. Maybe use a low pass filter just to give drops here and there. But just keep in mind that you're producing beats for artists. You're not producing beats for other producers or where we have to flex our skills. So if you're making this for artists, please, you don't have to make those changes. But again, your drum bounce is insane. As soon as it comes on, it just hits me in the chest. So fire producer, just take those couple tips, put it in your toolbox, and you'll be good to go. So it looks like Iceyy. Oh, Iceyy was the last submission of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, Iceyy was the last submission of the day. If you guys have any questions about music production, let's just say in this next 5 minutes, please let me know. If you got any questions about making beats, you got any questions about networking, selling beats, transitioning from making beats to recording artists, let me know. We'll do that for this next, let's just say about 5 minutes, since that was the last beat. So let me know in the chat, guys, if you have any questions. And ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be here, of course, next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode, another live stream of The Heat Check. Make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com, get you some free loops, get you some free FL Studio Patcher plugins, get you some free guides on Pro Tools. All right, so Slein Beats, we have Selling Beats is Kinda Hard. Your beats aren't going to be difficult to sell. Especially, here's the thing about selling beats. I don't I don't know where you live, but here's a tip I can give on selling beats. So there's so many beats out there, especially these days. People can get online and get like YouTube type beats. Type beats on YouTube. People can make their own beats. They have their cousins, their nephews, their friends at work can make pretty decent beats. So one of the things that I've noticed with selling beats is sometimes people just want that human connection. So if you're playing your beats, you have different people checking them out. Don't be afraid to like start a bit of communication. Like, hey, I noticed that you downloaded my beat on BeatStars. My name is Slein Beats. What you working on lately? Oh, I like that song. I got this beat that I think will fit your next project. So it's really that human connection between you and the artist that's going to influence them to actually purchase the beat. A lot of times it's not just the beat itself, it's how you make them feel in relationship to the beat. You care about their future. You care about their project. Once again, don't rely just on talent solely. If they're talented and they're investing in themselves, that's who you want to aim for. So, try to get them in an email list. Try to chat with them on Instagram DMs. And then from there, let them know, hey, I want you to get this. I have a process that I'll go ahead and put that out. A process on how to DM people and get a response. I'll just go ahead and put that out for you guys. There's a way to get people to respond to your DMs easily. So I'll put that out for you guys so you can network with other artists without kind of being left behind. I am in the ATL, Georgia, man. Been here for over 10 years now. Started out making beats. From then, had an engineer buddy of mine tell me that he needed somebody to record some people. So from there, I started learning Pro Tools. And in ATL, if you can record people, that is a great way to network and sell beats. So Slein Beats, there you go. That's another alley-oop. I don't quite know where you live, Slein, but if you can record people, you don't have to use Pro Tools, obviously, but that's another way to connect with people. You guys are going, a lot of times artists just want me to get on YouTube, download type beats, drop it in Pro Tools, and then we just record to it. But in that process, if you have a beat and then you're like, yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie. It is. So I'll admit I'm a little spoiled. In the comments, for anyone listening to the playback, Slein Beats, it says ATL, the best place to live as a music producer. So if you're going to come here to be a music producer, still try to learn the recording aspect, because that's going to give you an unfair advantage over other producers. Because if you're in the studio and y'all are just chopping it up, and then they're like, hey, do you got any beats? And then you pull up a beat, name a price, and then there you go. Because what I've noticed a lot of times, it's like there's some artists out there who just want to kick it with you and record. So that's like an entirely different income stream outside of just selling beats. They just want to kick it and record, talk to you about their day, and then just go on type beats and just express themselves. So that's part of the reason why I do the free Pro Tools content, is because that's an unfair advantage for producers, is knowing how to record. I know people are using FL Studio to record and Studio One to record, but FL Studio, the reason why I'm still on Pro Tools, the reason I'm on Pro Tools and why I teach on Pro Tools is because if you guys, you're music producers, and then you're going to also be in the studio. So that's another avenue, is if the main engineer gets up, you still have the ability to record the people because you know how to use Pro Tools. So That's part of the reason why I still give out free content on Pro Tools as opposed to using Studio One, which, you know, everybody's kind of clinging to Studio One as the new, you know, fire DAW for recording, because you can record and make beats in Studio One. Because if you're in the studio with the main engineer, he has to get up and use the bathroom. You could still record, and the homies in the studio could be like, "Hey man, you know how to record? Or you know how to use Pro Tools? Oh hey, you know I got another session next Friday at 7. You know my cousin used to record us, but can you come in and record us?" And then bam, that's another income stream. You're also trusted, and that's also another avenue to sell beats. So in the future, I might switch DAWs for recording, but you know, I was in the studio, a big studio, like a month ago, and then they were using Pro Tools. So everyone's saying Pro Tools is dead. It's not. It's not dead. That's what all the big engineers are using. So that's why I teach it for free on YouTube. There you go. Now that's funny that you say that, J-Zoe, on the beat. Yes, you can. You can get royalties instead of selling it straight up. So that's another reason why I mentioned finding artists who are actually working. Crazy story. So let's do a quick story time. So this was a few years ago. I went to a live mixer. We have a lot of live mixers here for independent artists, and I found this one artist in the live mixer. Dude was ridiculously talented. Not only that, he had charisma and he could capture the entire audience. It just something about him was special. And as I get to the end of the story, you'll know that I missed. So walked up to him, told me his name, we exchanged information. I was like, man, this dude is talented. I got to send him some beats. So a couple days go by, a couple weeks go by, sent him a couple beats, didn't really hear nothing. Then he made a post on Twitter saying, LOL, I ain't paying no damn producers for no beats. And the tone to me was pretty disrespectful. I was like, why would you disrespect producers like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to say it like that. You could say something like, producers, I'll get you on the back end because I'm an artist who's out here on the grind. You know, I'm going to blow up one day. So it's not what he said, it's how he said it. So I got offended. I got in my feelings, guys. So I didn't send him any more beats. Few months go by, didn't send him any more beats. I see his name pop up on Twitter. I was like, everybody kept mentioning this name. I was like, man, that name looks familiar. I was like, why does that guy's name look familiar? And then I looked at my phone. I looked at my contacts. I was like, that name sounds super familiar. Who is this guy? And they said, this guy is a ghostwriter. They was like, oh, he's the ghostwriter. He's the ghostwriter. And I was like, ghostwriter. And then it was like, oh, Drake got a ghostwriter. I was like, wait a minute. So somebody got placements on Drake? And this person's, wait a minute. That independent artist who I saw at that mixer, who had all the charisma in the world, whose number I got directly, was in the middle of a controversy, and everybody said he was Drake's ghostwriter. And I should have stayed in contact with them. J-Zoe on the beat. I wasn't thinking about the back end. I was just like, I just want to sell beats. I just want to hurry up and sell beats. That was my mindset back then. I was young, man. Turns out his name was Quentin Miller, and everybody said he was Drake's ghostwriter. And I should have kept sending beats, because who knows? Maybe I could have been on If You're Hearing It, It's Too Late by Drake. So J-Zoe on the beat. You are absolutely right. You have to take risks, calculated risks. And unfortunately, I got my feelings, and who knows if I was persistent and consistent and I didn't get offended, maybe, possibly, I could have built a connection with the person who's Drake's ghostwriter and possibly got on Drake's album. I don't know. I'm just saying that's a good point about the back end. So I knew that guy had the it factor, though. I knew he had the it factor. So don't be like me, guys. If you see somebody who's talented, you might have to take those risks. They could blow up and they could become ghostwriters. So, yeah, that's the story. I still still have his number on my phone, but I'm pretty sure he's changed it after all that controversy happened. So, people don't understand how hard it is as a producer to paint a picture with these beats. Yeah, it's a craft, man. It's just like it's just like painting. It's just like singing. That's why with my beat review show, I'm all about constructive criticism. I see some other beat review shows, and it's just like telling a producer, "Hey, man, that's not it." That doesn't really help them. Saying that's not it. I know, J-Zoe. Yeah, that was crazy, man. I was like, but he had the it factor, and I noticed that. I was like, this guy is special. So, but yeah, exactly. It is art, and can't be minimized. We gotta stay persistent, stand on our square, and yeah, man. Exactly, J-Zoe. I would have been locked in, but I got in my feelings, man. He was talking down on producers. I was like, man, whoa. But yeah, we got to take calculated risks. We can't be afraid of failure as producers. We're kind of cooking up in our own little corners in our rooms, and it's easy to not want to take risks, but if we don't take risks, we can't grow. So I always say, like, if you have a guard against risk, you also have a guard against reward. So let's say an artist made that statement and they became nothing, but another artist can say the same statement and he becomes, a super popular ghostwriter. So everything is a risk. Everything is a risk, man. So, Slein, you sending out beats is a risk. J-Zoe, you sending out beats is a risk. Everybody in the chat, you sending out beats is a risk. They could take your stuff. They could make a song to it. It could be nothing, or it could blow up and be a hit. And then you have to contact an attorney, and then they'll be able to take, the royalties and give it to you. Just make sure you guys keep your track outs safe and sound somewhere. Store it. If it's on a hard drive, make sure you store it on a cloud or something so you can get to it in case one of these artists takes your beat and it becomes a hit. Because here's a cheat code, guys. I mean, here's a little secret. These artists are just getting on YouTube and looking up type beats. That's one of the main ways they're getting beats as far as just recording studio time. When I go to a studio, I always look for a program called Mixed In Key. This program gives you the key and the tempo of the beat that you're about to drop into Pro Tools for the artist to record to. And all I see, free YouTube type beat, free this type beat, free that type beat, free. So these artists are just getting on YouTube, getting these type beats, recording to them. Sometimes they're just keeping it on their hard drive. Sometimes they're releasing it. You never really know, but somebody could get a type beat that's one of you guys type beat that you post on YouTube possibly, and then it blows up. So if you're gonna put out type beats, make sure you keep your track outs. Yeah, it is a risk. It is a risk, Slein, to yeah. Or they'll credit somebody else. You'd be like, who is that? Your name is Slime Beats, and this is like, it's gonna be like, Big Crazy Beats. You be like, who's Big Crazy Beats? Like, that's clearly my beat. So my only advice is to make sure you guys keep your track out somewhere. So keep it safe. and sound. So in case somebody blows up, because we got a lot of talent here. You know, this is my second show, and we got crazy talent, crazy talent. So, you know, people could be watching. You know, you never know. So, yeah, man, keep your track outs. Keep your track outs safe and sound. So, yeah, copyright. Technically, when you're done exporting the beat, it's copyrighted. So, man, people don't care. They don't care about that kind of stuff. You're gonna have to sue them. I'll be straight up. You're gonna have to sue them, man. You're gonna have to sue them. So, yeah. Any other questions, guys? We kind of went down a rabbit hole of artists, producers. We need to come together, not beef. So, any other questions, you guys? This was a pretty nice Q&A, man. I was able to get off that story every couple, say maybe every so often. I think about that story. I definitely need to get out to more artist events. Do you guys go to artist events in your city? Do you guys go to lounges or bars where they have open mics and like local talent? You guys do that in your cities? J-Zoe, I know you're in Miami. Miami has a pretty big scene. I haven't been to Miami. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. That's a real good spot. Nice chill spot, Fort Lauderdale. Okay. Nice Q&A, guys. That was fun. Let's see. Ain't much open lounge in his city. Slein beats. Not much open lounges. Okay, not much. I should do a podcast. That's very funny that you should say that, J-Zoe. That's very funny that you should say that. Because right before I went on live, I was making notes about potentially starting a podcast. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, got a couple things in the pipeline planned, you know. Unfortunately, we don't have producer grind anymore. I don't know if they're going to come back. Growing up, we had Scratch Magazine. So I'm like, hey, if there's nothing out there, then I'll just pop up and do it. Just get some gems from producers, put it out there, and you know, we'll just do it that way. Cause it's not really an outlet. We got little Instagram clips, but that's just pretty much it. A little Instagram clips. So that's pretty much it, man. But yeah, before I started this live, I have a whole spreadsheet and I'm working a few things out mentally, but I'm like, okay, I think I could do that. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I'll definitely have something out at least by the summertime. So I think I can interview producers, get some gems for you guys, and yeah, I just like doing free content, free live streams. I like doing that. So we'll see, man. I think a podcast is on the horizon, though. So shout out to you, J-Zoe, for being so intuitive. All right, guys. So that was a great Q&A. I'm glad I was able to share a story. You guys are able to give me some information about what you guys got going on. We're going to be doing this again next week. So next week, Sunday, 8 p.m., not a.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Heat Check. So give me 10 minutes after the stream closes. Check the link in the description. I'm also going to make a post in 10 minutes on my community so you guys can submit your beats for next Sunday's show. So you don't have to wait. You guys probably have your DAWs already open. You're probably in the mood to get more beats played, so you can submit it for next week. As soon as I close this live stream, I'm going to open it up in 10 minutes. Make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com. Get your free loops, FL Studio Patcher plugins, free guides on using Pro Tools. So I got all that there. Thank you so much for everyone showing up once again this week. Thank you, J-Zoe on the beat, Slein Beats, and everyone else who showed up in the chat. Apologize, I can't see every name here right now. Of course, by the audio, I'm still getting things together, guys. But I do appreciate you guys for checking me out.